This is Mike. Mike's stuck in traffic. The only thing that could make this worse is if he promised to cook his date dinner at 8, which he did, but it's now 7:30 and he's still on the 5. Good thing Mike has Grubhub Plus with Prime. $0 delivery fees, zero stress, zero rush. Dinner's covered, and so is his reputation. Free Grubhub Plus, it's on Prime. Additional terms and fees apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with the purchase of any smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
This podcast is sponsored by Talkspace.
Last year, I went through many different life changes. I needed to take a pause and examine how I was feeling in the inside to better show up for the ones who need me to be my best version of myself.
When you're navigating life's changes, Talkspace can help. Talkspace is the #1 rated online therapy, bringing you professional support from licensed therapists and psychiatry providers that you can access anytime, anywhere.
Living a busy life, navigating a long-distance relationship, becoming a first-step father, Talkspace made all of those journeys possible. I could speak with my therapist in the office. I could speak with my therapist in the comfort of my home. I was never alone.
Talkspace works with most major insurers, and most insured members have a $0 copay. No insurance, no problem. Now get $80 off your first month with promo code SPACE80 when you go to Talkspace.com. Match with a licensed therapist today at Talkspace.com. Save $80 with code SPACE80 at Talkspace.com.
Welcome to the Neurodivergent Experience podcast, a podcast where we share the lived experiences of neurodivergent people to help create a better understanding for our community.
Join us every week as we bring you honest, raw, and inspiring conversations with specialists, advocates, and individuals who know exactly what it's like to live the neurodivergent experience.
I'm Jordan James, a neurodivergent specialist, father of neurodivergent children, husband to a neurodivergent wife, and author of The Autistic Experience, and I'm joined by my best friend.
I'm Simon Scott. I'm an autistic ADHD broadcaster, actor, and advocate. Join us as we journey into unraveling the neurodivergent experience.
Hello, and welcome back, you lovely, lovely people. I am Jordan, and I'm here with my best friend, Scotty. Too hotty.
Hello, I am awake. Good morning.
You are awake? Yeah,
hello.
you know what? Because of this episode, I've been yawning so much, just even thinking about this episode. But before we get on to that, has anything interesting happened to you this week?
It has, my friend. I have achieved a special interest goal.
Yeah,
I've done like a big milestone thing. So listeners of this show will know I'm a huge sports fan. I've been a Liverpool football fan my entire life, and I've only ever been to one game. And that's down to finances, geography, many, many things. Being a plastic scouser, as some would say. And moving to Liverpool has given me the opportunity to get access to locals tickets. And I went to Anfield for the first time since I was about maybe 7 years old on Monday. And it was what I assume people feel when they go to like the Vatican or something like that. And they go like, oh, I have returned to the source of my faith
Mecca,
or whatever.
The Mecca
that's what it
of
felt like.
Scousers.
Yeah, so I turned up and I was like, no, I didn't. But no, I had a great time. And it was very much like a bit of a homecoming thing. I feel like I've really achieved a special interest goal. I feel like I've gone big tick. And it's really sort of cemented it and seared it to the bones now. So it's really cool when you sort of like achieve something that's tied to your spin, because so much of our special interests, it's like part of your soul, isn't it? So when you achieve something like that, and I really feel like I've climbed like Everest in my mind, even though it's something so simple, but just sort of having that experience and those memories now, and and that feeling, and being in an atmosphere and floating on like voices of song and everything's just been absolutely incredible. It was just such an amazing experience.
I don't know if it's not difficult. It is difficult because it's a very busy environment. When I used to go up to Stamford Bridge, I used to go like 2-3 times a month.
Yeah.
And it was great on the way there, the camaraderie, everyone, I never went to away matches. I just never did. Always at Stamford Bridge. And I used to go to the Brighton Stadium as well, the Amex, to go and watch Brighton as well, because obviously I don't live too far away from there. But when we used to go to the matches, like going in and then seeing the pitch for the first time, and even if you hadn't been for a while and suddenly you're there and then it's like lots of green, and it's very, very cool. It's a very, very cool experience. Also, you feel part of something big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's great. But when you come out, and I don't know if this is all stadiums, but this is what happened at Stamford Bridge, we'd all be going to one flipping train station.
Oh, dude, I had to walk like 2 miles to get to like a point where I could get a cab, because I was just like, I'm not doing the trains. And on Monday, we had like mental wind in the UK. And somebody's gazebo had blown onto the bloody train tracks near where I lived. So I couldn't get a train in. I couldn't get a train out. So it was like it was just like a really mad sort of getting there, getting back. And this is the crazy thing, right? That like I really had to come to terms with being ND, is that I am desperate to do this thing. I have wanted to go to Anfield my entire life. I am still tired. And it's nearly been a week over, like just shy of a week since I've been. But the energy that it took for me to get in, find my seat, get comfortable, be there on time, feel like I'm making the most of the moment. I never know when I might get to do this again, so I need to make sure that I do these sorts of ritual things that I've always wanted to do. I'm exhausted, and I've not got my energy back since, being surrounded by all those people, and because it was the first game at Anfield since Diogo Jota's passing. It was highly emotional as well. And because I'm such an empath, being in the cop when You Never Walk Alone singing after a player's died, I had tears streaming down my face as well. So that's another energy that I've sort of sapped away. But absolutely incredible experience. But I've just been so tired since. It's been such a yin and yang sort of feel, I feel like I've really achieved something, but I've had to earn it in a way.
Yeah, but it's like in the sort of what they say, with the up inevitably comes the down. So that's like for you, that was the ultimate up. So you're going to have an ultimate down. It's like gravity for the human brain.
Yeah,
it's just going to happen whether you like it or not. You can't really do anything about it, but you can make it better. It doesn't always have to be so detrimental to your health. Which is why we're here. This week we're talking about sleep and being neurodivergent. And it is a big thing. To be honest, I'm surprised we haven't done more about this, because I know it's a really big issue in the neurodivergent community. But I think it's one of those things where we're very stubborn, where we're like, no, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. I'm fine having 3-4 hours sleep. That's just being neurodivergent. And it's like, yeah, but it is super unhealthy. And, bringing the tone down a little bit, it can kill us. Like that is the thing, is that, it has been, there's been studies, and it's been shown that neurodivergent people don't live as long as neurotypical people for many reasons. But one of them is lack of sleep. Lack of sleep can cause accidents. Lack of sleep can cause mental health issues. Lack of sleep can cause judgment, lapses of judgment. And there's so much bad about not getting enough sleep. But on the flip side, which is really interesting, is that sometimes if I get too much sleep, it's actually even worse. So it's kind of like finding the Goldilocks effect. You know, it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right. And then a bear eats you. I think that's the story.
Well, sleep on a bear.
So yeah, we are here with Ashley Bentley.
Hello.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me. This is a subject very near and dear to my heart, so I'm really glad to be here today.
Wonderful. Well, we need all the help we can get.
Yes, we do. We do. So yeah, overall, like the overarching idea behind it is that neurodivergent brains often struggle with switching off due to sensory sensitivity, emotional processing, and nervous system dysregulation. So that's kind of the sciencey bit behind it. But we're here to talk about the reality of like how it affects us differently. So I'm going to go, Scotty, just in general, how have you struggled with sleep let's go to your childhood. Let's take you back.
Take me back to little Sai. Sweet little Sai.
Let's go and visit little Sai.
Little Sai.
Baby Scotty.
Oh, dude, I don't think I was ever on time for school once, ever in my life.
Okay.
Ever. And still am, even though we're talking about little Sai, slightly little bigger Sai. I feel like a zombie for the first 2 hours every single morning. Absolutely every single morning. Even now, I feel that sort of hungover, my brain is dry feeling. I kind of wake up with that sort of feeling every single day. And, you know, it affected so much of my cognitive ability when I was a kid. Trying to get me dressed in the morning, even though it was just like, just put your trousers on, then do your shirt, then do your tie. It was such hard work. And like even now when I get dressed in the gym and I get dressed really quick, I still sort of laugh to myself and go, how did I do this so slow when I was a kid? But it just sort of, it happened that way. But on top of that as well, I don't have any appetite when I wake up. I've never been a breakfast person, ever in my life. And all of these things don't really set me up very well for a day. Like being in a classroom at 9 a.m. and then trying to do like a science lesson until 11, complete waste of time for me.
Well, there's been studies that have shown that in some countries, they actually start an hour later for school. So they finish an hour later. And it has been shown how hugely beneficial that is for young people to have that extra hour sleep, that extra hour to get prepared for school in the morning because of synaptic pruning. Because the synaptic pruning process is happening, especially in teenage years, there's that second round. And the synaptic pruning process basically turns children into zombies, which is why you have that sort of teenage response of, what?
You mean what I had this morning trying to get up? Yeah.
Well, that's because, you know, we didn't go through the synaptic pruning process fully. It's still sitting there like a loading screen. So we've still got those teenage brain years just hanging around, just be like, I don't want
that's
to do
what I
it.
feel like. I'm like,
I'm not your
God, I
slave.
bloody hate you. That's what I feel like every single morning. Absolutely
Kevin
every
years.
single morning. It's never changed. The only time I have ever felt like I've been able to like get up and get fresh is when I'm on holiday, because I get up and I go and exercise. I'll go for a swim or I'll go for a walk or I'm just out in the sunshine. And yet when I'm at home, and I'm so guilty of this, I hate doing this, but I just like, I can't help myself. I can't. What's the first thing that I do when I wake up in the morning, Jordan?
Fart.
Second thing that I do in the morning, Jordan?
Pee-pee.
No, I sit on my phone. I roll over.
Before you pee-pee?
So I have to.
while you're pee-pee?
I'm over 30 now. I have to wait for it to sort of like.
Are you a sit-down pee-peeer?
No comment, Your Honour. But
I'm just that lazy. I'm sitting down peeing.
My big thing is I roll over in the morning and I check my phone, and then I'll kind of sit on my phone for half an hour, and then I'm kind of in bed, and I'm still waiting for them to invent a bed that feels as good as when you get in it as when you get out. They've never figured that science out. I'm waiting for it. But yeah, I do not set myself, if I'm truly honest, I do not give myself the best opportunity to have a good start to a day in the morning. And it's because I roll over and I'm like, oh, teenager, I don't want to get out of bed. And I just kind of sit on my phone and just like, just kind of scroll and just sort of then just get mardy with myself. And then I always make myself late because time blindness. And then I'm in a shower and then I'm just sat in the car with wet hair. And then I'm mardy because I've got wet hair.
So you're definitely a morning person then, obviously.
I'm a person. I don't think I've ever been a morning, evening, night, afternoon. I'm just a person, I suppose. Yeah, no bueno with sleep, unfortunately. How does that relate to you two?
Ashley, what about you? What's little Ashley? What was it, little Ashley like?
Oh my gosh, little Ashley. I have been plagued with sleep problems for as long as I can remember. I can remember lying in bed at night, just wide awake. I mean, and I would have been, I don't know, about 7 or 8 years old. And around that time, I was also going to sort of like my first sort of sleepovers as well. And I can remember like every single sleepover, all my friends eventually would fall asleep and I would just be wide awake. And I was like, what is wrong with me? I wasn't tired at all, but I also wasn't sort of like, I wasn't a super energetic child either. It was just like, sleep is just like not happening. I eventually did find sleep when I became a teenager. That sort of, I started to sleep a bit better and then naps during the day and all of that, and sort of my early 20s as well. But then in my early 30s, I took a job as a late night radio DJ, and my hours were 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. 6 nights a week.
That's literally the shift that I used to work, Ashley. I used to produce late night. It's
goodbye socializing.
And you know what? Like they were, for most of the show, there were no adverts. So it was like usually advert breaks were, those are like your sort of the godsend where, I mean, back then I was smoking. You could normally go out for a smoke break and go to the loo and all this. But yeah, so 5 hours of, maybe one or two commercials in that whole time.
I literally sent a shiver down my spine, Ashley, as a broadcaster, because like the ad breaks and the news were the only relief you had.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
So that is when I first experienced insomnia, like proper insomnia. I suppose you could say I had it also as a child, but it just, and I only had that job for a year. I only had that shift for a year, but I've never fully recovered since then. I am so much better now. But yeah, so that kicked off. I mean, that was 2006, I think. And then once I got into my sort of early 40s, and this happens for a lot of women, perimenopause and things like that. It just, I mean, I was so chronically sleep deprived. I basically didn't sleep properly for about 6 or 7 years. Ooh. And it was like, do you remember the very beginning of the movie, the Fight Club, where Ed Norton is talking about his experience with insomnia? He's like, insomnia is just like, when you make a copy of a copy. Well, insomnia is like, you're a copy of a copy of a copy of it. You're just like barely sort of getting by in the day, and your adrenals are fried because they are overproducing your stress hormones just to try and keep you moving throughout the day. So yeah, it was really bad, and it was one of the biggest factors in my full burnout, my full body shutdown that happened about 6 or 7 years ago, that I am still recovering from. But I have learned how to sleep. It's one of my favorite things to help people to do. So I look forward to giving some tips by the end of this episode to really help everyone out there. Because what I like to say is that sleep, if you think of a house, sleep is the foundation to your house, and the rest of your well-being, your nutrition and exercise and mindset, those are sort of like the pillars built on that foundation. You've got to get your sleep right. It's everything.
That's so crazy, Ashley. We have had such similar experiences. I was a late night producer and a like on-air jock as well. 1 a.m. until 6 a.m. In the week, and then I moved to 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh my God.
And then at one point, I was working on Saturday from 4 a.m. until 1 a.m. And then I would have to set up the show for the next day until about 8 p.m. And then on Sunday, I used to do 4 a.m. until 1 p.m., go home, have a shower, have lunch, and then do 4 p.m. until 1 a.m.
No.
And I did that for a year and a half. And
That's
it
insane.
messed with my head. But everybody that used to work on those shifts, they used to call them Caspers in my office, friendly but ghosts.
Yes.
It's like you never used to see them. They were always pale, but they were friendly when you did talk to them. Yeah,
that's me. That is, I'm a bloody Casper.
That's what I mean.
I don't. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm sort of awake or sleep. I'm sort of in some sort of limbo. But I guess I've worked over 20 years doing nights, like 12-hour night shifts.
Oof.
And in the last 17 years, I went on a shift pattern in my job, working, security, of some days, some nights. So it's really weird. It's like I'll do 4 days, then I have 4 off. And then I do 4 nights, and then I have 4 off. And then I do 3 days straight on to 3 nights. That's the real killer. Like that really, that Monday night. Oh, that
gear shift in your brain, that must be.
messes so much. And then I have 6 off, unless I'm doing like overtime and covering for other people. And it didn't make, it's still the same shift pattern as a manager, because I work on a shift and I have to be there all the time with my officers. And I've been doing nights all these years, and I don't really sleep when I come home. So I'll come home, I hang out with Sylvia, we have breakfast, because when I'm working nights, she's working days. So that in the mornings is the only time we actually see each other for a space of maybe 3 or 4 days. Otherwise, we don't see each other for that long. And so we hang out in the morning, then I'll have breakfast, and I always have a coffee because that's me. And then a couple of hours later, I start going, oh yeah, no, I'm a bit tired. And then I'll go and have like 2-3 hours sleep. And then I'm up, and then I'll go back to work. And that's it. So when I'm doing nights, those 4 nights or those 3 nights, it's like maybe if I'm lucky, I might get a 4-hour stint in. But yeah, it's not good. But I've been doing that for 17 years, so I'm just kind of used to it. And I have this up and down thing where it's like I said earlier, it's just finding that right balance. Where, like, sometimes 4 hours sleep, I am brilliant. I am so awake. I'm so alert. I feel everything. It's so good. And if I go up to that 8 hours, if I double that, I am yawning all day. I don't know why that is, but I've seen it a lot. Like, I always thought it was just me, but then, since being in the community and studying neurodivergence like I have, I've found it a lot. It's a very common thing. And one of the memes that I found, which I loved, was it's like me after 7 hours sleep, and it's like a big happy yay, and then me after 8 hours sleep, and it's just low on the floor going just dead. And I'm like, that. And Sylvia sent it to me. She went, "That's you." She said 6 hours. If I'm working days, I get about 6 hours sleep, and on my days off, I get between 6 and 7 hours sleep. But sometimes if I get that 8 hours sleep, that's a killer. I don't know why it is, but it is very, very common. Ashley, have you got any ideas why that is?
For sleep, food, and movement, our bodies crave consistency, regularity, and it likes to know what to expect. And our sleep cycles are generally around 90 minutes. So it sounds, and everybody's different. They say, between 7 and 9 hours is ideal, but everybody is also unique. And as you've already said, us neurodivergent folks, don't always need that 7 hours. 6 can be enough, 7 can be enough, and anything over that is too much. You can get too much of anything, even good things. You can get too much of. So it sounds like your body is really happy with sort of around 6 hours. So if you go over that, you might be waking up in a weird part of your sleep cycle as well. What part of your sleep cycle you wake up will completely affect how you feel in the morning. So this is why I'm not usually a big fan of devices in the bed, but there are like sun lamps that will wake you up very gradually through light over a period of like 20 or 30 minutes. That is really helpful. Or there are also devices like your phone, or I think watches that can track where you are in your sleep cycle and wake you up when you're in the lightest stage of sleep. So you're going to wake up feeling great. So it sounds like no, it definitely is. If you're waking up and you've gotten a full amount of sleep, but you are feeling really groggy, you likely woke up in a really deep state of sleep, and it will affect how you operate during the day.
Yeah, I get that when I get woken up by an alarm.
Yes.
So on my day shifts, I have to get up at like 5:30. So I'm being woken by an alarm. But on my day, and I'm normally like, oh Christ, like, oh God. Sometimes I'm fine. It's worse in the winter. So if it's dark outside,
oh God, in the winter,
I'm getting up at 5:30 and then driving to work, especially if it's cold and I've got to scrape off the stuff. Oh, that is just horrible. That ruins my day. Winter's the worst. But during the summer, if there's sun outside at 5:30 in the morning, or there's a sunrise coming, and it's kind of like a mental health thing, isn't it? It's just you just feel better because sunlight is the best thing for us, just like Superman. And I guess on my days off, I kind of wake up at about the same time, sort of maximum about 6 o'clock, 6:30 most. And because I've woken up on my own volition, I've woken up rather than being woken up, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
So yeah, if you could maybe get one of those apps that tracks your sleep cycle, and it will, even though you've got to, I know you've got to, get up at a certain time. It's really quite good. You give it the window of time that you're sort of okay with waking up with. Say, don't wake me up any later than this time. And it will wake you up somewhere in a sort of 20 or 30 minute period that when you're in the lightest state of sleep. It's a good idea. I mean, it may end up waking you up a tiny bit earlier than you normally would, but you'll feel so much better.
Do you think, like, going back to like evolutionary stage of, we were built to wake up with the sunrise, no matter what time of the year, because we didn't have jobs and we didn't have commitments. We were just living like the mammals that we were. And you can't go hunting at night. You can't go outside at night because danger. So do you think that's why we just wake up better with sun?
It's so cool how this works. So when we first wake up, we need to get outside in the sunlight within 30 minutes of waking. We are so connected to nature. You are spot on, Jordan, because that bright light first thing in the morning is what's going to get you to sleep 16 hours later. It starts off a little clock in your brain that will help to get you to sleep 16 hours later. So this is why it is vital that we get out and we get that bright light, because it also helps for a healthy release of cortisol. And that release of cortisol is happening one way or another. So you want it to happen first part of your day to get you up and moving. If you don't get that bright light, that cortisol gets released later on in the afternoon, leaving you feeling wired and tired later on that night. So it is vital for the melatonin to be released when you want it right before bed. That's the little 16-hour clock that is set off by the bright light. But you also want it to release that cortisol as early in the day as possible to get you up and going so it doesn't get released later on in the day.
Is that what they call circadian rhythm?
Yes. This is all part of your body clock, the circadian rhythm. It's so completely, sunlight just is everything. We want to get it throughout the day as well. It helps with our energy levels, our mood, our appetite. It keeps our appetite in check as well. So we are so tied to the sun. Your instinct was spot on, Jordan.
Fascinating. Well, guys, I think we should take a little bit of a break there. Don't fall asleep. We'll be right back.
Prime delivery is fast. How fast are we talking? We're talking puzzle toys and lick-pad delivered so fast you can get this puppy under control fast. We're talking chew toys at your door without really waiting fast. Pee pads, cooling mat, and peg hammer fast and fast. And there's training TREATS faster than you can say sit fast. And now we can all relax and order these matching hoodies to get cozy and cute fast. Fast, free delivery. It's on Prime.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale. Up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with the purchase of any smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
This episode of the Neurodivergent Experience is brought to you by RTN Mental Health Solutions. With up to a 5-year waiting list for autism and ADHD assessments via the NHS, and that's even if you get a referral from your GP, getting an assessment in the UK has never been harder. So if you're like me and can't wait anymore, going private may be the best option for you. RTN offers online assessments for kids aged 6 right up to adults. To make it more accessible, RTN can offer payment plans up to 5 months. You can access their remote services from the comfort of your home anywhere in the UK, and RTN offers group and one-to-one counselling, a private route to access ADHD medication following the assessment, and will even fight for you if your GP doesn't accept the results. So if you live in the UK and can't wait to get an assessment, go to www.rtnmentalhealthsolutions.com and use the discount code RTN23, making it even more affordable for all of our listeners to get an autism and ADHD assessment.
Welcome back to the Neurodivergent Experience. Don't worry, you didn't oversleep. It was just an ad break. I'm here with... welcome back. I'm here with Jordan James and Ashley Bentley. We've been discussing that, sweet, sweet currency that neurodivergent people seem to struggle to save, which is sleep. And you made some great points about circadian rhythm before, Ashley, and it got me thinking. I wake up in the morning, I have an eye mask with like little headphones in. I always have the windows in. I've got like skylights in my bedroom that bake me with sun. So I'll take my eye mask off, I'll see the sun, get fried, and sort of like try and like wake up in the morning. I am so groggy every single morning. And I also find about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I get really snacky as well. And I just want to like nibble on something. And I will get in bed. My partner will lay next to me. She'll put her eye mask on. Boom. I have never known anybody fall asleep as quick. I have never been more jealous of anybody with just being able to just literally she rolls over and just gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So Sylvia's a regular napper. Like she'll just be on the settee and we'll be watching something. I'll turn over and she's just sleeping.
Oh, you've
and
got to keep an eye on my dad. Like he's just on the sofa and he's just always gone. And my mum used to do this thing where she'd sit in the car with her sunglasses on. The only time you'd know she was asleep is if my dad braked and she like leaned forward a bit. But
baby brain.
Yeah, so I've constantly got members of my family falling asleep around me. And I, honestly, you know, when we were talking about nature in the previous section, I've been one of those people who would be like, I would have been a great lookout for all of the other people in the camp that were sleeping, because I would have been up at the arse end of the middle of the night chatting shit with somebody around a fire. That would have been who I would have been in the tribe. But I have never, ever, 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 Ashley, been able to just fall asleep. I sit there and all life's questions hit me, rumination kicks in, conversations I haven't thought of in years will flash through my brain. And I also have the most intense and vivid dreams.
I just found out something. Sorry. Found out something really interesting. You're talking about circadian rhythms, and I was like, baby brains? Like, that's because of the lack of synaptic pruning. And I was like, why do babies struggle with sleep? And one of the first answers that comes up is immature circadian rhythms. So newborns haven't yet developed a strong internal body clock to differentiate day from night, leading to fragmented sleep patterns spread across 24 hours. Again, that might be a huge link to why we struggle with sleeping as neurodivergent people, because the synaptic pruning process, that we haven't got rid of those synapses. We maybe we just never developed a circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
So we're literally adult humans that are just rhythmless.
Well, and this is why, educating ourselves on the science of the best way, like light and things like that, it can really be helpful. Yes, because we are sort of operating already at a disadvantage. So anything that we can do to help ourselves. And in the evening, actually light helps in the evening as well. So viewing a sunset can be very helpful. You're sort of signaling, again, it's amazing how connected we are to nature and how disconnected we are sort of in our modern lives. So view a sunset and dim the lights. But switching off the mind, that is, you're absolutely right, Simon, that, you can do all these sort of things and then, the mind just goes. So what we want to do with the mind is we want to keep it busy, but bored. And so we want to give it a task. So there's something called cognitive shuffling, which is just such a game changer. And what it is you think of a random word like mango or we'll go with that.
Banana. Sorry.
Banana. Yeah, that's a good one. Although actually there's a lot of you'll see why banana isn't one of the better ones, because there's a lot of repeated letters in there. So you want to...
Oh, I failed. I'm a failure.
Back to sleep, boy.
Try again later. Or library is a good one. Let's go for library. So take the first letter of the word, L, and then think of all of the words that start with the letter L. And once you've exhausted that, you go on to the next letter, which is I, and think of all of it. And so what you're doing is you're keeping your brain occupied, busy, but bored. It's not going to be relevant to anything that's going on in your life. And it's got a task. Give your brain a task. That's a really great one. One I've been experimenting with lately is imagining that I am floating on a really nice sort of inflatable sun lounger on like a beautiful sort of tropical sort of setting or something like that. That experience of imagining that you're floating is very, very hypnotic and dreamlike. And the setting just is also, you're giving your brain a task, but there's no relevance to your life, really. It's just something nice and enjoyable to train your brain to start thinking about other things other than the day-to-day things.
I always find a warm bath is really helpful if I'm struggling to sleep after a night shift.
Yes.
So, and I'm like, okay, I need more than 2 or 3 hours sleep. It's getting to the point where I'm just like, okay, I'm really irritable. I'm really fed up. I need this sleep. So I could come back in the morning, I'll have my breakfast, won't have a coffee. And then I'll just kind of have a warm bath for an hour or so, listening to nice relaxing music. I'll come out, and especially if it's a hot bath, and then I'll come out and I'm just like, oh my God. And then I just melt. I melt into, like, I've actually fallen asleep and I've had to put the towel down because I was still wet and I was just so tired. And I fell asleep on the towel on the bed and I woke up like 4 hours later and I was like, oh, what's going on?
That is key. There's a reason for that. I mean, obviously the relaxation, but a hot bath, when you get out of that hot bath, your body temperature drops dramatically very quickly. And we have to have a drop in body temperature in order to fall asleep. So light and temperature are the two main things physically, putting our mind aside, but physically, light and temperature are everything. You have to have that drop in body temperature. One of the best tips that I can give is get an old-fashioned hot water bottle and stick it in the fridge during the day. And I do this during the summer. It's essential because it can get quite hot at night and difficult to sleep. And I have that cold water bottle lying next to me. I just need to put the palm of my hand on it because we regulate our body temperature through the palms of our hands and the bottoms of our feet. All I have to do is put my hand on this cold water bottle and it's just like, it puts me right to sleep.
You know, I do this thing. This is really weird. It's like, I'll be completely covered, but I'll just stick my one leg out of the cover.
Yes. Oh, I'm a one-leg person as well.
And I'm suddenly
Makes
like,
all the difference.
Yep. That's the shit
I am
right
still
there.
an adult. I am still an adult that goes, but if I put my leg out, somebody could just like
the monster can grab it.
I do have
the spiders.
I do have those thoughts, but you know what you guys are sort of describing to me there. It's sort of like tying into that like sensory sensitivity, because I'm somebody who, like, for me, golden rule of like, if you really want me to help me sleep, I have a fan on. It's like the cold air and the noise of it as well just seems to like really help me sleep, which is difficult because my partner is the complete opposite.
Oh, no.
She doesn't like sound and she doesn't like the feeling of like cold air and stuff, which is ironic because we have the sort of like Scandinavian duvet setup where we have two. And the amount of times I will wake up in the morning with her duvet on top of me as well. I'm just like completely compressed. So what are the sorts of like sensory sensitivities that can either like help you guys fall asleep or keep you awake? Because for me, I used to live in like really busy cities and lots of sound actually kind of used to help. I go to bed and listen to music. I'll listen to podcasts because I have this like eye mask with little headphones in. Silence is deafening for me when I'm laid asleep at night. I can almost like hear the seconds slow down and really feel isolated in this sort of like just waiting to fall asleep at night.
I think if I'm in a good mental state, so if I'm like happy, I have no problem sleeping, no problem whatsoever. The things that stop me from sleeping, and this was before the methylphenidate. So after methylphenidate, it's helped a lot. It is the noise, the constant neurodivergent noise of, what about this thing? Oh, what about that thing? Oh, do you remember that guy looked at you funny? Oh, well, you remember you said that thing to that person at work? Maybe that was the wrong thing. Maybe
that's the worst for me, that one.
Oh, what about that message that I sent to that guy? Or
10 years ago.
Yeah. And literally, the things that just live in your brain. Then it's like, or for me, because of the way that my brain works, I'm constantly coming up with ideas all the time. So I will lay in bed and be like, oh, maybe this connects to this, or maybe that connects to that. And what happens if we do this and do that? And to be honest, a lot of the hypotheses and theories and ideas that I come up with about neurodivergence, about the way that our brains work, they happen as I'm about to go to sleep. And it's so funny because, again, I've seen these memes, I've seen these like funny drawings of like, you know, you're there and there's like a brain and you're talking to your brain and it's like, hey, brain, ready to go to sleep. And your brain's like, no. Why? Why does the Wookiee not speak English? And you're like, why does
But why
the
can
Wookiee...
everyone understand the Wookiee who does
How does
speak?
everyone understand the Wookiee, but we can't understand the Wookiee, but yet everyone else? And how do people understand R2-D2? He's just making beeps. Like, why do they understand him? And why can't they just give us some subtitles so we can know what he's
Do you know
saying?
what? This is how I knew
my
that,
brain.
This is how I
Jesus.
used to know that I had neurodivergent people on my team, because I'd end up sending an email for something with work at 3 a.m, and I see who reads it and replies, and I'm like, go to sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, I think the cognitive shuffling is a great idea to switch that off, but keeping a pad and pencil next to your on your bedside table to jot down an idea, if it's a really, really, like amazing idea that you need to get down, but otherwise really try and intentionally shift your brain into something that keeps it busy but bored. And there are lots of different sort of mental games that you can do. You can make up a fairy tale story, that's something that has no, sort of bearing on your actual real life. It kind of really helps to send you into that dreamlike state if you think of something that's sort of mythical and fairy tale like. Now, I'm a big fan of wind down routine, sleep hygiene, all of that. I have a scent anchor that I use. So I have this scent balm that I correlate with sleep. So we can, like Pavlov's dog, we can anchor any sort of emotion or sensation to one of our 5 senses, and our sense of smell is really quite strong. So I have this sleep scent that I use, that I put on and I sniff. It smells really nice, and that's a signal to my body that it's time to go to sleep. And then, okay, this is going to sound very autistic.
You're in the right place.
I know. This is talk about another anchor. So this is a real sensory anchor for me. So a number of years ago, probably about 5 years ago, I made a recording to listen to while I was going to sleep. So I would have my headphones on, and then for some reason, I just wanted it to be quieter and quieter and quieter over time, and to the point where it's like, okay, I actually can't hear this recording anymore. So now I just put my headphones on, and they're not attached to anything. But that sensory feeling of having
makes sense
that
to me.
Yeah. And it's just, and I end up taking it off, and then I never remember taking it off, or taking them off. But it's all of these lovely little anchors of like, it's time to sleep now. So I wear these to bed every night, and I have a sock over my eyes as well. Because I don't like a sleep mask. I don't like things. And it's a lovely black bamboo sock that really, helps to block out the light.
I want pictures of your sock face.
I mean, I look so ridiculous.
Sock it to me, baby.
And phone's not plugged in.
I used to do mouth taping as well. So I had headphones on, sock of it, and tape over the mouth.
That'd scare me doing the,
look like
the mouth tape.
Like you've been kidnapped.
Yeah, basically.
Hilarious.
Basically, yeah.
Well, that's a different show. Yeah, I have my cuddly toys, and I since the invention of Squishmallows, I don't think neurodivergent people have ever slept better or just been happier in general.
Well, the big IKEA Skog bear as well has been a game changer for me. He's a good lad.
Yeah, because a lot of people have like body pillows and things like that, which is really, really good. I mean, I used to want to cuddle Sylvia because, when I was younger and we first got together, and I was like, no, I don't have cuddly toys, because I was going through that, didn't accept my childishness and my baby brain. And after a while, I because Sylvia runs very, very hot. and so she does not like, sorry, I run hot, she runs cold. Apologies. So she doesn't like me cuddling her, because basically I'm just a sweaty man. And it's all gross, and she has her sensory things. So I want to cuddle her because she's like an ice bath. Like, ooh, nice. But yeah, so I eventually just got myself my cuddly toys, and they're really helpful. And I've always had a cuddly toy to sleep with, even if it's just resting on my hand. So my if I'm laying down, my hand's just resting on the cuddly toy. I don't need to be cuddling it. Don't need to be snuggled up. You know, sometimes I like it in the crook of my arm, but most of the time it just kind of just sits under my hand just so it's there. And the softer they are, the better. And I've just recently got a red panda, which is so soft, like crazy, crazy soft. So it's really soothing just to have that red panda that I can almost stim with, because obviously at night our hands are still going to do that weird, you know, hand thing that we do where we can't control our hands. And it's just nice to have that. But I've also got Bucky, who's my stag squishmallow, who when I lay on my side, I basically then I engulf him and cuddle him, and it stabilizes me, and it actually helps my back.
Yeah,
weirdly, because my back is the other major issue that I don't sleep that well.
I can relate to that. I mean, I've got a very long body pillow that I've got hip issues with my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and so that is a lifesaver to be able to stabilize my hips, and also, you know, more and more people are more and more couples are what are they calling it? Like a sleep divorce, sleeping in separate beds. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big proponent. It's not for everyone. I totally get that. But if you're having difficulties and you're able and you have a spare bedroom, it could be a game changer.
Huh? What sort of difficulties?
I know people that have got sleep apnea and they can't be in the same room as their partner. Like I have known people like, Christ, my grandfather. I stayed in a hotel room with him once, and I understood why my grandma wanted to live on the complete other side of the house when she went to sleep, because he rattling the windows, just like such a big sort of like. I can sort of understand it, you know, because like there are times where I'm in bed and I've got I don't know, I'm not a bed connoisseur. Is it queen size, maybe king size? I'm not sure. I honestly don't like anything touching me in my sleep. It's like the sound I can live with and things like that, but if I feel somebody's breath on the back of my neck, I'm not going to fall asleep. If I can hear somebody like going in my ear, I ain't going to fall asleep. Like there's just certain things that can affect me. So I'm not I'm not sort of want to like be one of those people that's like Victorians, like, good night, mother, and just like disappear into the different part of the house. But I do understand why people have done it. And I mean, we've started with the separation of the duvet because we used to wrestle over that, and I've got fed up of waking up in the morning without one. So
I want to try the duvet thing.
It works. I really like it. It really works for me.
I saw like a Jordan one, and I was like, oh, I want that. And Sylvia's like, no.
This is the thing that also is great about having two single duvets on the bed, is it gives you access to sillier ones. Because you don't get silly ones in doubles and kings, but you do get them in singles.
No, you can get a double Jordan one. I don't know if that's silly or not. It's just fucking.
For people that are listening, he means Michael Jordan's logo, not just pictures of his face just across an entire.
You don't know what I mean.
Or maybe I don't. Should we take a break?
Just like shirtless pictures of Michael Jordan as he's dunking.
No, I was thinking more like you. Like
no, it's definitely the Jordan logo.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no, yeah, in the photo, there's just me and Jordan. Oh, me? Just me? Yeah.
I meant you, just pictures of you all over a duvet, just like lounging around, one without glasses, one with glasses, camera placed provocatively.
Those are available on request. I'm sure we'll get plenty of offers.
The Neurodivergent Experience OnlyFans. And with that, we'll take a break.
This is Rose. Rose's flight is delayed again. At this point, she has walked the entire terminal twice and has memorized every news headline on the airport TV. All she really wants to do is take off. Good thing Rose has a library of free ebooks with Prime. Suddenly, she's chasing bad guys, kissing hot vampires, solving murders, living her best life. Free ebooks library. It's on Prime.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale, up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery with the purchase of any smart bed. Ends Monday. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Have you ever felt stuck in patterns that don't serve you? Struggled with stress or wanted to connect more deeply with yourself? Then I have to introduce you to a friend of the podcast, Ashley Bentley of Integrated Coaching, Breathwork and Hypnotherapy. Ashley is a highly experienced clinical hypnotherapist and coach specializing in working with neurodivergent minds. Through a unique blend of integrative coaching, breathwork and hypnotherapy, Ashley helps people rewire subconscious patterns, regulate their nervous systems, and step into more empowered versions of themselves. Whether you're dealing with addiction, anxiety, burnout, or struggles with self-acceptance, Ashley offers practical and science-backed tools tailored just for you. Her unique methods combine neuroscience, storytelling, and subconscious transformation to create real, lasting change. Jordan and I can personally attest to the profound and transformative effects of her sessions, which have been life-changing. She does all of these sessions online, meaning she can work with you no matter where you are in the world. If you're ready to break free from old patterns and start living with more clarity, confidence, and connection, go to bit.ly/AshleyNDE to book a free consultation or learn more. Get up, it's time for school. No, it isn't. It's just part 2 of the Neurodivergent Experience podcast. Welcome back.
Oh,
Welcome
God,
back.
you just made my stomach turn. I'm
horrible,
not
wasn't
even
it?
lying. Oh, God, you
Get up.
absolute shit. You didn't
It's
tell
time
me you
for
were going to do... Oh, don't. Stop that. That's traumatic.
It was awful, wasn't it? Sorry,
just-
everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back.
You've just made a lot of neurodivergent people very traumatized. Well done, Scotty.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's not like me to traumatise anybody on this show. There's a first. Well, we've been talking about all the wonderful things that are associated with being neurodivergent and sleep and the lack of sleep that all of us seem to have had throughout our lives. And the one that is, oh, goodness, well, it's really interferes with my sleep. And a lot of it is because I feel like there almost isn't enough time in the day to do what I want to do. And I'm completely honest, if I didn't have to sleep, I wouldn't.
Same.
If I could, get a genie, 3 wishes. Simon, what do you wish for? Number 1, I'd like to be 6 foot just to see what happens. Number 2, I never want to sleep again and never need sleep and never have to go to sleep because I would get so much done.
I would like a charging port that I could, as I'm just sitting down, chilling out, watching telly, I could just plug myself in and just charge myself up like a phone.
Me.
That'd be great.
But that's what happens with me, guys, is I get to bed at night, I'll get in bed at like 10:30, and then I'll go, oh, I really wanted to have a look at those trainers that are on sale, and I didn't get to do that today, and now I'm going to waste 2.5 hours in the evening building outfits I'm never going to wear or buy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, screens are sneaky. They, even when we're tired, scrolling keeps our brains alert.
But video games don't count, right? Video games are fine. No, honestly, I sometimes feel like if I can't sleep, sometimes I'll just be like, Sylvia's like, okay, it's 11 o'clock, it's time for bed now. And I'm like, okay, mum, but I don't want to sleep.
Demand avoidance, man.
I'm okay. I don't feel tired. So you crack on. And I go downstairs and I'll put a video game on and I will play that video game until I'm tired and then I'll go to sleep. And I will go upstairs and I will immediately go to sleep. So video games don't make me not sleep. It makes me get rid of that pent up energy playing the game. Now, what I would say is that for everyone listening, I don't play online. I think that is a totally different style of video gaming.
Very good point.
I story mode game, or I will just, play a game of Call of Duty or something against bots, because I'm not communicating, I'm not chatting, I'm not speaking to anyone,
or competing.
There isn't, and this is what I call the sleepover syndrome. So when you go for a sleepover, when you're a kid, you go for a sleepover, you don't ever want to be the last person to go to sleep. You want to stay.
You definitely don't want to be the first.
You definitely don't want,
you don't want to be the first.
Let me start that again. You don't want to be the first person to go to sleep. You want to be the last person, because also you're excited because you want to enjoy it more. You want to extend that time of enjoyment, but also you don't want to be the guy that left and everyone else was talking about you and enjoying it without you.
Face.
And yeah, enjoying it, putting your hand in cold water. But it's the same with video games. When you're online, it's, you're chatting, you're enjoying. You don't want to be the person that leaves knowing that all the fun you could have, because then you'll go to bed,
dude.
You'll go to bed and you'll have the ultimate FOMO, and you'll be thinking, oh, what have they? So you won't be able to sleep. So the games that I play, like story mode games, like recently it's the Donkey Kong game, or before that it was Oblivion and things like that. Oblivion is great, by the way, because if you just walk around Oblivion without doing any of the missions or anything, you just walk around and they've got that kind of really soft music. Dude, I am out like a lion.
Yeah, this is why I used to like playing Gwent in The Witcher, because it'd be at that point where I go, right, gentlemen, it's time for me to retire. Push yourself away from the table, because you don't feel like you're losing anything, right? It is that FOMO. And you made a great point. It's like, I'll have it where I'll be playing a game and the Karis will come downstairs. She'll be like, come on now, like it's time for bed. And
what is that?
It instantly makes me think of like my mum going like, "Come on now, you got to." And it
Can
also,
they not sleep by themselves?
Right,
I'm like, Jesus Christ!
I say this as well. It's like, there's no one going to get you. It's just me.
I work nights. Sylvia sleeps by herself all the time. But when I'm actually there, she's like,
absolutely.
"You have to be in bed with me," and I'm like, "Oh my God."
There's also no worse fear. I know I made the sort of like get up, it's time for school joke. There was nothing worse of being caught playing video games at 2-3 in the morning when you shouldn't have been doing. You know, when you're on your Game Boy, the parents walking, you like do the Andy, like Andy's here in the toy store, like just like
that sounds like parents who care about you. I wouldn't have known what that was like.
Oh.
I never experienced that.
Oh, there's me going there going, oh, don't you hate it when your parents care? Sorry.
Yeah.
But no, that was something that I did used to experience a lot, that I used to be like, oh, just one more mission, or, oh, I didn't quite complete, I've just got to complete it and then I'll go to bed. And then, yeah, that's screens, my worst enemy at night.
Yeah, I mean, and phones, TVs, and tablets all give off blue light, and those are like little suns to our brains. It really tricks our brain into thinking it's still daytime. So, turning on night mode, and ideally no screens about 30 minutes before sleep. But so, yeah, but I totally get it that the game itself is helping you to sort of wind down. But hopefully, definitely no overhead lights. Make sure just turn the lightness down on your screen that you're playing, and only sort of like soft, very soft lighting with like lamps. Yeah.
Well, I have everything off. It's just the TV.
Okay.
But it is a 65-inch TV, so that kind of just lights up everything.
TVs in bedrooms, not in bedrooms.
Oh, I've got a 60-inch
because I read and hear different things.
Bedroom.
Like if I had a TV in my bedroom, I'd turn into Charlie's grandpa in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I do worry about that, but I also think I would probably wind down more if I had a TV in bed. But then it's that thing of, you're having signal and your brain's picking up like all sorts of stuff that's in there. I've battled maybe having a TV in my bedroom multiple times.
Well, I was going to say, take literally last night. Sylvia and I, we're watching King of the Hill, laying in bed, and it's so weird because we're halfway through an episode. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus, it's like, it's only 10:30, 11:15. And my eyes are going, I'm on my way. I know that if I close my eyes, I'm gone. And Sylvia turns around and she's like, well, I'm really struggling. I'm going down, and I'm like, oh, me too. So I just turn it off, and by that time we've already cleaned our teeth, washed our faces. You know, we're ready for bed, and literally, it's almost like we're in sync in that moment, and we both just, boom, gone. It doesn't. I think it depends on what you're watching on the screen. I think if it's something that really builds up your dopamine levels, if it really gets you excited, you know, it makes you more awake.
Yeah.
Like scrolling, like doom scrolling, or just scrolling your phone, or chatting with people, or just anything like that. I think also with your phone, you're doing stuff. You're actively doing stuff. Whereas if you're just laying down and was watching a cartoon or watching something easy and chilled, I actually find that that's fine. But everyone's different. Everyone gets stimulated by different things.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to figure your own sort of rhythm out, and I mean that is also, we have daytime. We knew about our circadian rhythm, but we also have a daytime rhythm as well. So we've got usually 90-minute cycles of alertness throughout the day, and following that rhythm as well, and taking breaks every sort of 90 minutes of like deep work, going from thinking and doing to being and feeling, it helps you to switch off later on that night when you're ready to go to sleep. So that's also something to be aware of taking. And a lot of people are like, well, you know, my day is so busy, I can't take breaks. But actually, if you're able to just grab a minute, just a couple of minutes every 1.5 hours of just, you know, rest your brain, look out at a horizon, that is enough to go back and forth from thinking and doing to being and feeling. And the more often you do that, you'll be more productive when you are working as well. So you'll probably get more done with taking more breaks. This is what I've found in my own work. And then you're becoming a master at relaxing your own nervous system. You know, you can really, that can get stronger and stronger over time, so that you're able to switch off whenever you want, which is a brilliant skill to have in your life, obviously.
Quick question. With our incredibly hyperactive brains, you say, like, you know, maybe some of us should have like half an hour before we go to sleep. What the hell am I meant to do in that half an hour?
Well, that's where you can set up a really nice bedtime ritual. So do maybe some gentle stretching. For ladies out there, you know, maybe sort of brush your hair. I suppose men can do that too.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Why don't I get to brush my long locks?
But find your own little bedtime ritual that just really signals. Again, you know, it's creating we love our routines, don't we? So we can really set up a routine that really signals to the body, okay, it's time to rest. This is, you know, so come up with your own routine. Maybe gratitude journaling is really good, because again, that is focusing your mind on something positive before you go to sleep. So you're not sort of ruminating on negative things. That's not to say that those negative things won't come in, but you're kind of setting yourself up for success.
That's good to know. Although you were right, Jordan, that there is still that part of me that goes, half an hour before I fall asleep? What the hell am I going to do now? So no, I will definitely give some of those things that you've suggested a try, Ashley. Just because, like, as I get older, I was told that I would need less sleep. And I'm still waiting for that sort of to kick in, really. We will get there. But I think it's so interesting how so many of us have different sort of effects with falling asleep or getting too much sleep or getting too little sleep. I'm very susceptible to meltdowns if I don't get enough sleep. I have that really sort of like groggy, almost like hangover sort of head, and I'm very irritable and I'm just grumpy, and it can really sort of set the tone for not just my day, my week. So it was great to sort of have this chat today and alleviate some of my, because I know it, like, again, I know I should do these things before I go to bed, but I just struggle to sort of commit to actually going, right, now is time for bed, commit to rest and to recuperation and sleep, set yourself up for the next day.
Yeah, well, and you can really, rather than, I have to do this, just start getting really curious about it, be really playful, gently playful about how am I going to set this up? This is, you can be really creative with it, how you set up your routine. And also a big one, if you have had a very bad night of sleep and you're really struggling the next day, a 20 to 30 minute yoga nidra. So yoga nidra is basically you're listening to a guided body scan, and there are loads of them. I've got loads on my Insight Timer and YouTube, but there are just so many to choose from out there on YouTube and Spotify and all the major streamers out there. And what this does, nothing can replace sleep, but a 20 to 30 minute yoga nidra can provide similar benefits to around 3 or 4 hours of sleep. So it's a game changer. It's a real game changer. You leave out feeling much more refreshed. So give that a go. It's really, really helpful.
I think regular mindfulness and meditation is really good as well, because like I said, when I struggle with sleep the most is when I have anxiety and when I'm overthinking and when I'm worried about things. And I think that any therapy that you can do at home with yourself is always going to be super, super helpful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. You are very, very correct there. Yeah. I mean, meditation can literally change our brain. It can help to rewire our brain. So the more we can try and be present, which another sort of little plug for Mindful Mondays, which will be coming up soon and sort of in September time. So
we should do Sleepy Tuesdays. If you just
Sleepy Little Tuesdays.
Literally, we could do like the half an hour of and you can just be like, and it's time, because you have the most lovely voice.
Oh,
thank
you.
Which when I'm listening to, it's kind of works for you and against you with me. Because I'm listening to you and I'm like, yeah. And you'll say some really, really amazing stuff. And I won't hear any of it because I'm like, your voice is very relaxing. And I'm just, I just kind of drift away. And it's like, it's so perfect when we do what is that noise?
Oh, that's the tram outside my window.
Okay.
Sorry. We've got Victorian electric trams here on the Isle of Man. Sorry about that.
Yeah, your ghost train, cool.
Your voice is perfect for the hypnotherapy, because like you get really close to the mic and you just end up talking like this, and it's like I've got a nice voice when I can get my words out, but yeah, it's very relaxing. So sometimes I'm just like, what did she just say?
I'm just imagining like you doing your own little sleep thing where you're like, yo, get your ass to bed.
Oh my God. What is that? What is that where people just...
Or ASMR.
ASMR.
Carrie's listens to the weirdest ASMR, dude. Sometimes like I'll hear her headphones and it's like...
Okay, like literally leave a comment. Do you want us to do a half an hour ASMR
that would be
weekly podcast?
Jordan
for people
organising his pop characters for half an hour.
Yeah, I'll be like,
I love it. Oh, binaural beats. That's one more thing I would love to add as well. That's something you can listen to. Again, there's loads to find online on all streaming sort of sites. And it can help your brainwaves go into delta. You want to pick delta for sleep. There's binaural beats for all sorts of different states of alertness. And so there's a lot out there. A lot of them are quite, they don't sound very relaxing. They sound a little bit spooky. I don't know why, because it's like, why would somebody want to listen to something spooky before bed? So definitely keep trying until you find one that you like. But binaural beats are really cool because you have to listen to them with headphones. It plays one beat in one ear and a different beat in the other ear. And that's going on in the background. It's pretty imperceptible to your conscious brain. But your brain takes the difference between those two beats and and creates. So you're basically forcing your brain your brain waves to slow down, and it's very effective.
That's interesting. Well, I'll tell you what, there are quite a few things there I'm definitely going to give a go, guys. The binaural beats thing sounds good. They're also pretty good as well.
They've been massively helping me.
Breath work too. We didn't even cover breath work, but yeah, focusing on your breath, that's another one. There's some great things to do with that as well. Maybe we can do a whole
We'll have to
episode
come
at
back
some
and do
point.
another episode, because we did sleep in like a, what, you know, quote unquote season 1 of the show. And I think it's something that we'll definitely have to come back to sooner rather than later, because the more I'm learning about it, the more I'm going, this probably might have helped with my burnout. So good to know. But I've loved today's episode. It's been an awful lot of fun, and I think I'm probably going to go and take a nap now. It's now nice and settled me down. So Ashley, once again, thank you so much for joining us. Really looking forward to bringing more episodes with you for Mindful Mondays. We've had some lovely messages as well. People are very, very excited to hear it.
Oh, wonderful.
So yes, so we shall be back tomorrow with a hot topic. It'll be hot. It could be spicy, so prepare yourself. Ashley, thank you so much for being with us. It's always an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Love you, Ashley.
Love you guys.
Right.
I can't wait to go climbing in September and leave you behind.
Me and my damaged hip.
Like, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, keep your eye on John's Facebook page for the missing persons and the letters, I guess. Oh dear. Well,
I'll just be hyper focused at the top of the mountain, and I'll turn around and like, oh, what the?
Look in Jordan's photo from Where Waldo of Where's Ashley on the hill.
In my photography, I'm going to take so many pictures, but they'll just be like little Ashley somewhere in the background.
Find
on the rocks.
Still missing. Oh well, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Take care. Be kind, and we'll see you in the next one.
Nightly bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Neurodivergent Experience. We hope today's episode sparked something for you, whether it's a new idea, a bit of validation, or just a moment of connection. Remember, new episodes are every week, so be sure to join us for the next one for more conversations and insights into the neurodivergent experience. If you've enjoyed this podcast, help us grow. You can do that by rating and reviewing this show. Your support makes a huge difference in helping us reach more people who could benefit from these conversations. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just search for the Neurodivergent Experience. Thank you again for listening, and until next time, take care of yourself. You're not alone in this journey.
Prime delivery is fast. How fast are we talking? We're talking puzzle toys and LookPad delivered so fast you can get this puppy under control fast. We're talking chew toys at your door without really waiting fast. Pee pads, cooling mat, and peg hammer fast and fast. And there's training TREATS faster than you can say sit fast. And now we can all relax and order these matching hoodies to get cozy and cute fast. Fast free delivery. It's on Prime.